Alright, good evening, y'all. Wherever we're on this channel, it's Father Phyrexy here. I'm going to do my little personal review on Aetherdrift, on how I feel it's going to be a really cool freaking set. I mean, they got all sorts of stuff. They got vehicles, you got mounts, you got zombies, you got planes, you got the planeswalkers in there. Oh man, the lands, the new art, some new cards in the whole deck. It's just really, I think it's going to be a really cool deck, and just I'm really excited about this to get into it. Like, I kind of went a little hands down on it, but just I got a list of things here I want to go over. Just like maybe some, I don't know, some art cards that I saw that kind of caught my eye, and they've been in. I don't know if they've been in previous sets, but they may or not been. I haven't. This is my first time ever reviewing anything like this. Ever putting together a video, and I think it's just gonna be a really awesome set. So let's get into things real quick. So some of the cards that caught my eye for art cards, like the Angel of Sanctions, it seems to be a really cool art card. Binding Mummy, I like the art on that one. Um, Canyon Vaulter, they got the Cast Out, the Cloud Sphere Captain, or the Cloud Spire Captain, the Ducks and Dawn, that's a really cool card. Um, Glory Heath Links, God Eternal Oketra. I mean, don't get me wrong, like a lot of the art, I don't, like I said, man. Interface Ace, On Wings of Gold, things like Priests of the Crossing, Renewed Solidarity, um, you know, the Spot Cycle Scouter, and the alternate out for that card, that's pretty sweet. Stores Plowshares, the Timeless Dragon, Unswerving Sloth, the Zombie Reversible Token cards, those look really cool. A new card that I saw is Aether Siphon. Art for Champion of Wits, Commence the End Game. I mean, this looks like a pretty solid card to work with. Eternal Skylord, the Forgotten Creation, Mind Spring Merfolk, that the all art first place foil, the regular, the default foil was so many cool variations. Mu Yin Ling, the Wind Rider, that's really cool. The Possession Engine, Prophet of the Scarab, Pull from Tomorrow, Red Tomb Mystic. Moving on to like the Archfiend of Ifnir, that's the Cemetery Reaper, the Corpse Augur. Really solid art cards. I don't know why, but I just love the art cards, especially like when it came to the Amonkhet set. That's like when I really got back into playing Magic. Um, that set, I bought a whole booster box, and I got the box topper. I don't remember what the card was, but it was. I love that set. Going back, like the cards like Crypt Breaker, the Cursed Cloth wrappings, the art, alternate art, mind blowing. Fleshbag, Marauder, the Grave Titan, Grave Crawler, that's a really cool one. Liliana, Death's Majesty, the Lord of the Accursed, Lost Monarch of Ifnir. Like I said, man, the Amonkhet, I just Murderous Rider, Never Return, Plague Belcher, new art for that. I remember that. Rot Hulk. Let's see, the Twirled Abomination, Undead Augur. Just more art cards like The Zombie Master. New card, a Goblin Surveyor. More art cards like the Grease Wrench Goblin, Pedal to the Metal, Territorial Aether Kite, the Autorch Mammoth, my bad, Giraffe, or yeah. Listen to me go, Elephants, man, elephants creating elephants, ridiculous. Defend the Rider, Monarch of the World Ooze, really, we need more Ooze cards. Molt Tender, Nisa, World Scout Speaker, man. I love me some Nisa, some green. You got the Pima Trailblazer, the Rampaging Aetherhood. Oh man, Boom Scholar, Corpse Knight, Despark, Gleaming Overseer, Lazo Top Chancellor, Scarab God, Wayward Servant. The art, man, I'm telling you, the art on these cards it's beautiful how they did it. Even if you don't play, you can at least enjoy the art because it is really, really solid art. The artists, all of them, honestly, did really solid artwork on all of these recent sets, like the Duskmorn, Bloomburrow is awesome. Going back to the set here, the Adaptive Omni Tool, Aetherflux Conduit, Aetheric Amplifier, new art for Arcane Signet, Bonto's Monument, and Dimmer Signet, man, Gate to the Afterlife, Marshall's Path Cruiser, the art and the alternate art for that's really cool. The Masswood Nexus, Orzhov Signet, new Soul Ring art, always with the new Soul Ring. I love it. I don't really play Commander too much, but I want to get into it. I just need help building the decks and need help. I get precons and everything. I open precons on my channel. Never really played Commander. Got the Stride Hanger, Automaton, Talisman of Dominance, and the Talisman of Hierarchy. We got the Wreck Remover. Moving on to some of the cards with the new mechanics. To talk about those, it's just like it's card the exhaust mechanic. It's pretty much, here's like the Mindspring Merfolk for 1 blue, an X, and blue. You tap it, you draw X cards, put a 1/1 on Merfolk you control. That's Boom Mobile has got the exhaust for X, a 2, and a mountain. The vehicle does X damage to any target, and you put a +1/+1 counter on that vehicle for a crew 2. That's pretty much what all the exhaust mechanic does. It just, for the Draconautics Engineer, you go freaking, it's for 1 red, and it says other creatures you control gain haste until the end of turn, and you put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. And then for a different exhaust, you type for 3 and a mountain, create a 4/4 red Dino Dragon creature token with flying. Dragons, I love dragons. Dragons. But it all the mechanics, like on Grease Wrench Goblin. Again, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. The Ranger Refueler, for 4, vehicle becomes an artifact creature. You put a +1/+1 counter on it. Crew 2. And again, whenever you activate exhaust ability, you draw a card. River Churn, Monument, exhaust, say 2 and 2 islands and tap. You each number of players mills cards equal to the cards in the graveyard. And so there's just a lot of +1/+1 mechanics for the exhaust. Race Setter Paragon, same thing. 2 and a mountain. Put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. It gains double strike to the end of turn. Solid. I mean, a good art card. Proud Catcher Specialist, same thing. I mean, it has haste. It exhausts a 3 and a mountain. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on that creature. The Spine Mech Cycle. It's a vehicle, has haste. The exhaust, tap another vehicle or mount you control. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature. You put a +1/+1 counter on it for each vehicle or mount you control other than this vehicle, and it's a crew too. I mean, the art card. It's a pretty solid card, but I think it seems repeating itself. Afterburner Expert. It's 2 and Forest. You put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature, and whenever exhaust ability is activated, return this creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Solid. I mean, but again, the +1/+1s. Elvish Refueler, same thing. During your turn, as long as you haven't activated an exhaust ability this turn, you may activate exhaust abilities as they haven't been activated. For 1 and 4s, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Greenbelt Guardian, 3 and a Forest. You put 3 +1/+1 counters on that creature. The Pima Trailblazer, Elephant. I mean, we got energy counters too. It says for this one, the Pima Trailblazer is an Elephant Warrior with Trample. When it deals combat damage to a player, it gets energy counters equal to damage done. And then you pay 6 energy counters, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature, then draw cards equal to that greatest power among creatures you control. Solid, but again, it's repetitive with the +1/+1. I like the mechanic. It seems pretty cool with all the extra abilities, like on Boom Scholar. Exhaust abilities cost 2 less to activate of other permanents. For its exhaust for 4, a forest, and a mountain of creatures and vehicles you control gain trample until the end of turn. Like put 2 +1/+1 counters on the vehicle or the creature. Loot, my homeboy Loot, my little Furby. I fell in love with that guy. I don't know, it's just Loot. I love Loot. 2, a forest, an island, and a mountain. Loot the Pathfinder. A Noble Beast has double strike, vigilance, and haste. Exhaust. Forest, you add 3 mana of any one color. Exhaust for an island, you tap and draw 3 cards. That's the blue thing to do. Green thing to do is add mana and ramp your creatures. And mountain, Loot deals 3 damage to any target. But another thing about those exhaust mechanics is you can only use it one time, and that's it. It's a one and done. That's pretty cool. Activated ability. I like it, but I mean it's repetitive with the +1/+1 counters. But the other activated abilities with it, I enjoy it. The Ranger's Aetherdrift was vigilant. When exhaust is activated, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying, crew 1. That's a cool activated ability. I like that. Create a Thopter. You got the Redshift or Rocketeer Chief. Says he has vigilance, tap, add X mana of any color where X is Redshift power. Spend mana only to activate abilities. Exhaust. 10. Mountain of the Forest. Put any number of permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Yes, I will take some of that. Moving on. Rocketeer Boost Buggy. It's a vehicle. When this vehicle attacks, create a treasure token. Exhaust is 3. The vehicle becomes an artifact creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. Crew 1. Seat of Varma. The Masked Racer. I like this one. I will put this in the commander deck. I will play this card. X. The exhaust is X, the forest, and an island. Put X +1/+1 counters on Seat Varma. Then you may have the base power and toughness of each other creature you control become equal to Seat Varma's power and toughness. Like I said, yes please. I will take that card and I will run with it, and bad things will happen if you... For a forest and an island to cast that card, ouch, that's gonna hurt. Another one is Winter, the Cursed Rider. Ward, pay 2 life. As artifacts you have Ward, pay 2 life. You know, the exhaust is 3, an island and a swamp, and you tap it. You exile X artifacts, cards from your graveyard. Exile artifact cards from your graveyard. Each other non-artifact creature gets -X until the end of turn. Pretty solid card. Blue-black. Right on. Another one is Marshall's Path Cruiser. That's cool. It says search for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand. The exhaust is all 5 mana. It becomes an artifact creature. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. A crew of 5. That is a cool mechanic. I mean, and you can only activate it 1 time ever per use on that card. So use that. I would say use those wisely and as needed, but try to keep those cards around if you need this stuff, or +1/+1 counters on whatever you want to go for. The max speed is, I mean, I can't even read my own writing. It's something about the max speed is a creature gets +1/+0. Perilous Snare. Max speed. The top max speed. Tap it. Put +1/+1 counter on target vehicle or creature you control. Pride of the Road. The max speed is beginning of combat on your turn. Target vehicle or creature you control gains double strike until the end of turn. The Aether Siphon. When you draw a card, each opponent mills 2 cards. The Slick Imitator. The max speed and 1. You sacrifice the creature, copy a spell you control, may choose new targets. I mean, VNWXT, the Reverse Host, the Homunculus. You have no max hand size, and the max speed, if you would draw a card, draw 2 instead. Gas Guzzler. For a swamp, you sacrifice a creature or vehicle, you draw a card. Gastel Raider. This creature gets +1/+1 and menace. I mean, they're just activated. How max speed works is the mechanic is you get card and start your engines. It starts off at number 1. Whenever an opponent loses life that turn, you increase your speed on your upcoming turn, and your max speed is 4. So on these max speed mechanics, that's how that works out. Back to, and then Hour of Victory. Your max speed is one in the swamp. A sacrifices enchantment. Search your library for a card, put it in your hand and shuffle. Momentum Breaker 2, sacrifices enchantment, gain life equal to your speed. I mean, the max you can get is 4 for that. What was it? Rising Necro Regent. Max speed at the beginning of your end step. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Hell yeah. Zombies. Like I said, there is zombies, gods, goblins, all sorts of shit. Streaking Oil Gorger. Max speed on that. The creature has lifelink. The Speed Demon. Beginning of your end step, draw X cards and lose X life, where X is your speed. End Rider Catalyzer, max speed. You tap it and you get 2 mountains. Goblin Surveyor for 3. Exile this card from graveyard. You draw a card. Hazoret, my man, Hazoret. The Godseeker. You can't attack or block unless at max speed. The Loxodon Surveyor, freaking Loxodons, elephants, man. Max speed for 3. You exile it from your graveyard, draw a card. Embalmed Descendant. The ability is when a creature dies, opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Moving on. Far Fortune, the end boss. This one is pretty cool. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or permanent that an opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus 1. Gotta add that one. The Mendicant Core, the Godlight, max speed. When you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 1 and copy it. That's cool. I like that. Building up your artifact deck. Sweet. Samut, the Driving Force. This is pretty solid. I mean, granted, like I said, the max you can get is 4, but other creatures you control get +4, +0, and X is your speed, and non-creature spells cost X less to cast, where X is the speed. Like I said, +4 or X less to cast would be 4 less to cast. That's a solid. I like that. For Zahor or Zahar, however, the glory is past. Whenever you a non-creature token or a non-token creature you control dies, create a tap 2/2 black zombie creature token. Zombies, like I said. Racer's Scoreboard, max speed. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Starting column. Tap. You sacrifice this artifact, draw 2 cards, and discard a card. It is what it is. Amonkhet Raceway. Oh, one of my favorites. You tap target creature, it gains haste until end of turn. I like that. Give it haste. Get it on the battlefield and smack somebody in the face with it. Avishkar Raceway. 3, tap it, discard a card, draw a card. Muraganda Raceway. You tap it, add 2 colorless mana. And I mean, like I said, there is, even if you don't play it, enjoy the art, because the art is freaking phenomenal. If this is your first set getting into it, it's fun. I mean, this is one thing I can say that I have done for a solid most of my life, and I've always been able to go back to it, to enjoy it, to meet new people, to have new adventures with those new people, and turning your deck of cards into a fateful destruction or a fateful retreat, however you want to call it. But Magic is so much fun, and this Aetherdrift set, I think this is going to be one of the better sets they've come out with in the past little bit since I started playing against. Like I said, I have only been playing hardcore, well, won't even say hardcore, but pretty mediocre, not playing any store tournaments since Cat. But I love the God cards. The God cards, the embalming, the zombies, the the cats. But enjoy this set, because I know I'm going to go do some pre-release parties and whatnot. So it's going to be a great time, and just enjoy your time as a Magic the Gathering player, and it never let me down. Y'all take care, and I'll see you around.